In the early days of Rock Hill, when it was just a fledgling church plant, everybody who came had to play a part. It's your first week here? Awesome, you can help pick up chairs at the end. Oh, you play guitar? Great, we're going to stick you on the worship team next week. When you have a small group of committed, engaged people, everyone helps and serves. And the same principle applies for city groups. You have the official title of city group leader, but that doesn't mean you need to lead the group alone. In this video, I want to explain the concept of team leadership and then give you some practical help so you can move toward that model. Team leadership, or shared roles, is the idea that a group is stronger when everyone has a role to play. The pattern in a consumer culture is to show up, get what you came for, and then leave. But city groups are meant to be a family, and in a healthy family, everyone pitches in to make the family work. This means that while you take the lead in discipling and overseeing the group, you're also equipping and encouraging the group members to take ownership of their own city group. Here are 3 reasons why it's important for everyone in your city group to have a role. 1, you need help. You are not omni-gifted, and that is a good thing. Sometimes we have the temptation to think, I'm a city group leader, so I need to be in charge of everything. But everyone in your group has a different gift. They have resources that are different than yours, and your group will be better if everyone has an opportunity to help out. Don't be a hero. Admit that city groups are too time-consuming, too complex to lead alone. Many hands make light work. 2, solo leaders don't last. This is the cause and effect of the first point. If you try and manage every little thing in your city group, you will burn out faster. And what's more, if you or you and your spouse are the only ones taking ownership of the group, then when you burn out, you'll leave behind a group without anyone who could step up and help. Sharing responsibility in the group is not only serving yourself, it's serving the long-term health of the group as a whole. Which leads us to 3. Families serve each other. Team leadership is not just an issue of sustainability, it's also an issue of everyone being on mission. In the Church of Jesus Christ, there is no category for the Christian who slinks in on Sunday morning and then slips out the back door. The New Testament writers imagined the church as a human body, with every part working in harmony, or as a temple building, with every stone doing their part to hold each other up. These images show us a picture of an empowered people, with every individual playing a role and taking part in something that is bigger than themselves. That principle should impact the way that we do church as a whole and the way that we do city groups as well. So that's the why of team leadership. For the rest of this video, I'm going to show you the how. I've come up with 9 different roles that people in your group can own. Here we go. Number 1, co-leader. Leading a city group alone is possible, but it's so much better to have a partner in ministry, somebody besides your spouse if you're married. Perhaps there is someone in your group who you believe is ready to co-lead with you right now. Maybe they already sort of functionally fill this role. They usually lead discussion when you're not there. They help coordinate things with you. You find yourself talking about the life of the group with them. If that's the case, then talk with me, and then we can approach them to say, hey, we would love to have you step up in a more official capacity. When you're co-leading a group with someone, it can look a few different ways. You could share the same responsibilities, like trading off who leads discussion. Or you could divvy up the responsibilities, like one of you handles DNA groups, the other one focuses on mission. The most important thing is that you talk together about the health of your group. What's going well? What could we improve on? How should we pray for the Lord to work in the future of this group? Number 2, apprentice. An apprentice is someone who probably isn't ready to lead a city group right now, but with some training and development, they could step into that role in 6 months to a year. You may have someone in your group who has the potential to grow into leadership, and this gives you the opportunity to intentionally invest in their development. For example, you could give them a chance to lead discussion every now and then. You could watch these leader training videos with them and then discuss them. You could tell them why you do what you do when you're leading a city group. Explain your sort of philosophy, your way of doing it. Form a deeper relationship with them. They may step into a role as a co-leader in time, or maybe you've set them up to lead their own group. One last thing, with both co-leaders and apprentices, it's best not to do an open call to the whole group. Hey, anybody want to lead this city group with me? For these roles, you want to do a personal invitation. Number 3, host or hosts, plural. Hosting is a hugely important role, and for anyone who has hosted before, you know that while it's an incredible gift to have your city group family in your living room every week, it can also be a huge burden. Maybe not when you're hosting for a month, but try 6 months straight. It can become even unconsciously a weight on your mind. That's why I strongly encourage leaders not to host if possible. It's not always possible, and maybe you personally find hosting very fulfilling, but seriously consider the toll it can take over time to both lead and fill your house with people every single week. I think it can be really effective to have multiple people who could host. I wouldn't rotate houses every week, that just gets confusing. But if one family takes the lead responsibility of hosting, then serve them well by lining up potential backup hosts. And as a leader, make a habit of regularly checking in with the host to see if they need a break. In the past, I've tried to ask the host every other week or so, hey, how are you doing? Is this too much? Do you need a week off? Here are some considerations to keep in mind when you're thinking about places to meet. Think about where in the city the location is, the space to actually meet comfortably, the schedule of the hosts, and the potential need for a separate space for kids. Notice what's not on that list. You don't need a spotless house every week. You just need a welcoming space with hosts who love to be hospitable and who want to offer up their home for the group. Number 4, mission lead. In the training video on mission time, I said that it's best to do mission by doing what you're already doing. You may have somebody in your group who is already involved with a ministry or a mission, or they have a neighbor that they have a relationship with, and they can be the one who will take the lead in organizing and encouraging mission in the group. All you need to do is ask them, hey, do you want to take the initiative in thinking about how our group can be on mission together? Number 5, DNA lead. In the same vein, you might have someone in your group who isn't interested in leading the whole city group, but they're really good at leading in a smaller setting, like a DNA group. Or maybe if they aren't the one who guides the DNA discussion, at least they could be the one to send out the reminder text or coordinate where to meet. You could also ask them to follow up with the other men and women in your DNA group every now and then just to take some of the responsibility of one-on-one discipleship off of yourself and put it onto somebody else who's really good at it. Number 6, care lead. Every now and then crises happen and someone in your group will be in a care situation. Maybe a difficult marriage or a sudden loss of a loved one. Now, as the city group leader, it's good if you can step into those situations with the pastors to counsel them, to comfort them, but maybe there's somebody in your group who is really gifted in compassion and mercy. You could empower them by saying, hey, the pastors and I are caring for so-and-so, but would you also be interested in meeting with them one-on-one just to care for them and love them and pray for them? Number 7, snack lead. Every good family gathering has food, but it shouldn't be expected that the hosts will provide snacks. Some groups have done a snack rotation, but I found that usually falls through. Somebody forgets it's their week and so on. Instead, what if you have 1 or 2 people who are always on snack duty? They bring the popcorn or the chips and salsa or the cookies. Everyone in the group can pitch in $5 or $10 to ease the cost, and then the food person takes responsibility to bring it. Number 8, prayer lead. When you pray together, what if someone in the group had the role of writing down all the prayer requests and then sending them to the members of the group after the meeting? What if you take it even a step further and this person leads the prayer time every week? Number 9, fun expert. City groups are about life on life, and that includes going to a hockey game together or having a movie night. Rather than taking it on yourself to plan these events, Have people in the group who are responsible for planning fun things to do, maybe 1 or 2 events every semester. And be real, there's probably somebody in your group who's more fun than you are, so they would be better at it than you. These 9 roles aren't exhaustive. Maybe as you were watching this video, you had some other ideas of ways that you could get people involved, some roles that they could play to lead the group alongside you. Now, usually at the end of these videos, I give you a question to ponder on your own. But this time, I want to give you a question that you can ask the members of your group. After you talk to them about shared roles and maybe you lay out some of the options that I presented, then you can ask them this: what role do you want to play to make our city group thrive? Till next time, leaders.